Hi, it's Josh with RIB Radio, and here's a message from author C.J. Lovik for the Hebrew picture language on the word Enoch.
Enoch was the seventh from Adam. Enoch was the first man to enter into the presence of God without dying. Enoch lived for 365 years. Enoch's son Methuselah was born when Enoch was 65 years old. Methuselah lived to be 969. Enoch had apparently received a prophecy regarding the flood that was going to come upon the earth and named his firstborn son Methuselah, which means his death shall bring. Methuselah was the longest living man in the world. This was meant to be a picture of the long suffering of the Lord. Methuselah died the same week that God brought the flood upon the earth. Enoch walked with the Lord for 300 years after Methuselah was born and was translated into heaven without dying. We read this in Genesis 5:24. And Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. The first use of the Hebrew word Enoch in Scriptures is found in Genesis 4:17, where we read this. And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bare Enoch. And he builded a city, and called the name of the city after the name of his son Enoch. The Enoch mentioned here in Genesis 4:17 is not the same Enoch that was the seventh from Adam, the one that was translated alive to heaven. The first Enoch mentioned in the Scripture was the son of Cain. The Enoch who was the seventh from Adam and walked with God was first mentioned in Genesis 5:18, where we read the following. And Jared lived 162 years, and he begat Enoch. The name Enoch in the conventional Hebrew means teacher or teaching. The words of Enoch, who lived before the flood, are echoed in the New Testament in the book of Jude, where we read the ancient prophecy of Enoch, who was prophesying regarding the final generation to live on this earth. Are we that generation? Listen to what Enoch said. If you're curious about who the these are that Enoch is mentioning in Jude 1, I would point you to that book and ask you to go read it. In Jude 1:14 through 15, we read these words. And Enoch, also the seventh from Adam, prophesied of these, saying, Behold, the Lord cometh with 10,000s of his saints, to execute judgment upon all, and to convince all that are ungodly among them of all their ungodly deeds which they have ungodly committed, and of all their hard speeches which ungodly sinners have spoken against him. With this in mind, let's explore the pictorial puzzle pieces in the name of Enoch. They are pretty amazing. The four Hebrew letters in Enoch's name are Chet, Nun, Vav, and Kav. Let's look at each letter to discover the meaning of the name of Enoch. Chet is the first letter in the name of Enoch, and it means private, to separate, to protect, a place of protection, to be cut off from, a place of refuge, a protected garden, a quiet place, silent and still, in security, a fenced area, an inner room, a sanctuary. Nun is the second letter in the name of Enoch, and it means activity or life, and it's pictured as a fish. Vav is the third letter in the name of Enoch, and it means to add, to secure, to join together, to make secure, to bind together, to create a connection between two things that are separated from each other. It can be a wooden hook or a wooden peg to hold up something, and it's pictured as an iron nail. Kav is the fourth letter in the name of Enoch, and it means to cover, to open, to allow. It means atonement. It's pictured as the palm of a hand. Now let's put the translation of the pictorial meaning of the letters, picture letters, of Enoch together to see what we discover. Here's what it says. A private sanctuary where life is both created and protected. This gracious miracle happens as a result of a connection between two things that have been separated from each other. What are those two things? They are sinful man and a holy God. The breach is healed by way of an iron nail that is connected to the palm of the hand. The picture of the palm of the hand is the picture of the one-letter Kav that is always associated with the redemptive work of atonement. We can now see clearly what God had in mind in the naming of Enoch. It is a harbinger of his redemptive plan. Yeshua HaMashiach is the solution to the puzzle that we find in the four pictures that underpin the four letters in the name of Enoch. As amazing as this picture meaning is in the name of Enoch, the numeric meaning is even more astounding.
To see the continuation for the word Enoch and see what the Hebrew numbers say, click the link below and continue watching.